So you've all heard the stories of crippling debt that iRacers face, or the tales of how people had to sell their own homes just to afford it. Well, fear not, because I'm here today to explain how I managed to fight off those crazy costs, race at a minimal price, and still have the most fun I've ever had on any sim. I'm going to be splitting this video up into 5 points that I believe are the most important to know, and that will definitely cut down your iRacing spending. Make sure you don't leave early, as at the end I'll be telling you the 2 cars I recommend to take your journey in iRacing further, but for less. So point number 1, the obvious one, discounts. These show themselves as early as when you get your subscription. iRacing memberships come in different time frames, a month, 3 months, a year, and 2 years. The longer you sign up for, cheaper will be. What I mean by that is, getting the yearly subscription, which is what I do, will be cheaper than buying a monthly one for an entire year. Get what I mean? Also, sometimes they have discounts for special holidays, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But on that note, if you're just getting into sim racing or iRacing, and you're not quite sure whether you'll stick with it for a long period of time, then the 1 month is perfect to get you started and to give you an experience of iRacing. Now the second discounts I want to talk about are bulk discounts. In iRacing, most of the heavy costs come from having to pay for every car and track you want to use, aside from the free content, that is. But iRacing has a system where if you buy 3 or more pieces of content at one time, you'll get a discount. There are different levels to this, so I'll show them on the screen right now. This is something I use every time I buy something in iRacing. I always buy 3 items at once, never just something on its own, and it's helped me in the long run to keep my costs right down. Now, the second bit of advice is, don't rush into buying something the minute you move out of rookies. I know how tempting it can be, but trust me, there's plenty iRacing series where you won't need to buy a new car, and that sometimes, more often than not, run free tracks. These series include for Sports Car, the GR Butt-Kick Cup, Global Fanatec Challenge, and Production Car Sim Lab Challenge for D-Class, and the Advanced Mazda series for C-Class. However, annoyingly on the Formula Car front, there is only one option, and that's the Formula 1600 Thrustmaster Trophy, which is D-Class. I know sometimes these cars and series don't seem like the most exciting or enjoyable, but don't worry, every single series will have its time of good racing and bad racing. So in my opinion, this shouldn't be a problem if all you're looking to do is save money in this harsh world of sim racing. This then leads perfectly into my third point. Tracks are really where your money will go. Cars generally don't change often, maybe the occasional change for a newer model, but really once you have them, you'll be able to race them for a long time. Tracks on the other hand, are a difficult one to know what to buy, as the schedules are constantly changing. But lucky for you, there's a website you can use to solve this problem. This is the iRacing Buyer's Guide website, which I'll link down below if you want to take a look. This website shows you how many different series the track is used in for the current season. So with this, you'll then want to opt for the track that is used the most. But at the same time, don't waste your money on a track you dislike or don't think you'll enjoy racing at, as that's what this should all be about, enjoying yourself. So just because a track is run say 40 times in a season, don't just buy it if you don't think you'll enjoy it. Something else to look at when choosing a car you want to race or series to take part in is its participation. Check its numbers, as you don't want to buy a car that nobody races and then you won't generally ever get an official race and it just won't be any fun. So keep in mind the numbers. As a little bit of a heads up, the Ferrari Challenge series is the most popular series, so it could be a good option, as well as in the Formula, the F4 series. However, something like the Mission R Challenge, you'll end up struggling to get into an official session, so keep that in mind when buying cars. Now last but definitely not least, there is also a way to make money from iRacing. This is called participation. If you do 8 out of 12 races in a series from D or C class, you'll earn yourself $4, and A or B will get you $5. But in a single season, you can only earn a max of $10. This, I know, makes it very tempting to buy 8 tracks for a series you race, so you can earn this participation. But you know who else knows this is tempting? iRacing themselves. They try to make it seem like you can make money, but in reality, if you go ahead and buy 8 tracks, that's going to cost you a whole lot more than what you're earning back. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't fall into the false idea that you can make money and just go ahead and buy the tracks to do it. All you end up doing is losing money. But by all means, if you already have 8 of the tracks, then go ahead and do it, as then that makes it worth it because you haven't spent any extra for it, and that is currently what I'm doing with the F4 Challenge Fix and the GR Butt Cup. So please, just be aware of this. So that's it for all my tips on how to keep your costs down when joining iRacing. But I did promise you guys that I'd recommend 2 cars, a sports and formula, that I think are the best bang for buck. So here they are. For sports car, it's definitely a no-brainer. The Ferrari GT3 is by far the best car for keeping spending down. It is, for one, a great car to learn the basics and have some brilliant racing in, but most of all, it features in 5 series. 2 being D-Class, with its own Ferrari Challenge series, and a new addition, the Rainmaster, so straight out of rookies you can race it in more than one series. Then it also has in B-Class, the GT3 series and GT Sprints, and there's even an A-Class series being IMSA. So for an initial sports car, I highly recommend the Ferrari GT3. Now for Formula, it's a bit more tricky as all of them are stuck to their class. There are none that go kind of like between two, for instance how the Ferrari is in a D, B and A class race. So for Formula, I would definitely say the F4 car is the way to go, especially if you are new to sim racing or to iRacing, as it provides a good foundation once you know the car for all the following higher speed Formula cars. And in addition, the participation rates in the F4 series are some of the highest out of every series on iRacing. So there you have it. Those are the 5 ways I'd recommend saving money on iRacing. As I know, when you first get into the sim, the prices and idea that you need to constantly buy new things to have fun is quite daunting. So I hope you've taken something from this video. And if you have gotten to the point where you're having fun racing but struggling to gain iRacing, then this video on screen right now will be perfect for you. Thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next one.